What's up? What's up? This is Uncle REG live. Alright, on this rainy day. California got a bad storm happening right now. It's probably gonna get worse. You know, it's real bad. You know, we're getting some serious rain. About what, 5 inches over here at least. I'm in the mountain section, you say, in the desert section. So that is the same mountain. So you know, we'll get a lot of rain and see how it goes and stuff. You know, it won't be too bad and stuff, but we need the water. Need the water. It was overdue anyway. I knew it was gonna start raining. Weather sooner or later, cold weather, and it's been cold too. So what's up, folks? What's going on, folks? What's up? What's up? So who we got in the house? Okay, so a little chat. I don't know who that is. Okay, so I want to see put the lights up. Oh, I don't know who that is. Okay, we got Ronnie Alley. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's going on? All right. Today we gotta talk about this Jonathan Hay. This was the not Jane Doe, but the John Doe that said that P Diddy threw the shirt with his stuff on it, with his body fluids on him after he wanked off in front of him. Then he's also the one that said that he didn't made him by force suck his dick. Now we don't know if he bust off in his mouth or not, all that. Ugh. But he said something about you can still taste his dick in his mouth. Jeez. This is just wow. They coming, they coming out. But this was the John Doe that his lawsuit kind of got set to the side because Cassie came out and then that's kind of like, you know, Cassie set it off. Once Cassie and they showed the video, that was it. But his came out, I think, a little bit first before Cassie, and nobody was trying to hear it, you know, because you know P Diddy had that power. But then once Cassie and that video showed up, that's what did it with the video. And now everybody's coming out. Oh, what's up, Joey? What's up, man? What's going on? All right, Joey in the house. All right, Joey. Who you get Joey? What's up, man? Yeah, we talking about some shit today, man. I'm gonna play a video of this Jonathan. Hey, you gotta hear this shit. This dude, he knows a lot of shit. Now, a couple people big interviewed on think Jaguar Wright and then Tisha Tell was talking to him, and then who else was talking to him? This real TV. What's this guy? Um, Real life production. This is the big interview that everybody's talking about now. But and then he also said something about Jay-Z and Rihanna, so we got to get into that too. So we're gonna talk about that, and then we have to talk about our boy D'Angelo passed away. He had lost the battle to cancer, pancreatic cancers. Yeah, let me put in. Can y'all hear me? All right, All right, yeah, pancreatic cancer. So make sure I get this up. All right. Hope y'all can hear me. All right. Are you staying out the way? Hey, I'm trying to do that too, man. You gotta stay out the way, man. I gotta stay out the way. So we have to talk about D'Angelo. You know, I think that he probably go down there as a legend. I think because the fact that he sung, he played guitar, he played keyboard, You create music, for other people, you know. Yeah. So I think that I think go down as a legend, R&B legend, you know. Um, that's better. Good. Yeah. Cause I forgot. I have to. Who's this fool? How are you? I'm cool. I'm cool. Okay, I got it. I had to use a translator. Okay, I'm cool. I'm cool. Who is this at? I'm all right. I'm all right. So I'm drinking some beer today, some High Life. Drink no beer in a long time, man. I'm trying to lose this weight and stay healthy. I had those panels, man. I was always drinking beer. I think that was kind of stressing me out. I was drinking too much beer and shit. I think because if I didn't water the beer down, which I do because I like ice. I know I'm the only one that put ice in it. I probably would be alcoholic. I'd be fucked up right now, I think. But because I water it down, it kind of diluted it a little bit and stuff. Maybe so. That's a good thing for me. That I like all my stuff cold when I'm drinking. I'm drinking soda, anything. I want to have cold. Yeah. So Joey got me blocked. Well, Joey, you got her blocked. Oh man, what's going on with that? So before we start, man, I want to talk about you know people still trying to put my name in the situation. First with me, Big J, that fool, always trying to put my name in this and that and third. Even though I'm out, I said I'm out. I got nothing to do with this shit no more. I'm trying to just do the news and stay out of trouble, and that's it. But I still got to put my name in shit. What Surism, I had to block him, man. But Surism will come over here telling me, "Oh, you just talk about Angry Man and what to call it, and Sly, and talk about what BTS and oh man, that's all you do." I would say, "Okay, when did I did that? When did I did that? Talking about who? No, he want to talk about that. He missed me talking about it." And sometimes I have to talk about Angry Man. The Angry Man is out of here cooning now. Got 800,000 subs. He want to take the cooning route. So he gotta talk about. What you mean? I'm supposed to talk about who I want to talk about. You can't tell me who I can't talk about. So I had to block him. Don't come on here saying some bullshit. Who you talk about Jimmy all the time? Well, I've been talking about him. I talk about who I want to talk about. I talk about your ass. Stupid. You piss me off enough. I'm talking about your ass. If you don't want to hear it, don't come over here. Come on. They didn't call all you did is come over here and call everybody incel over there because they wouldn't listen to your Mac lessons. They wouldn't listen to your ism and stuff. They don't want to hear nothing from no pimp. They don't want to hear nothing from no pimp no more. Shit. Y'all got the bad rap now. Y'all sex traffickers now. Your shit is under sex trafficking shit now. Nobody want to be involved in that shit. Fuck that. Pimping's dead. Shit. They got OnlyFans now. Shit. They could put their shit on Front Street themselves. With the Pornhub shit, they can do it themselves. They can make their own money. They don't need no manager. Even though there's still some manager after guys managing, I can see. But by the most part, nobody don't want to hear. Especially you coming to the black manager telling them about pimping and stuff like that. The black manager don't want to hear that shit. Because you mad, just like a lot of guys. They mad. Big J mad to him too. They mad because the black manosphere never accepted them. They mad because the black manosphere really never accepted what they had to say. You know, except see boogie about self improvement. None of They didn't want to hear none of that shit. Anybody that seemed like they had their stuff together as far as women concerned, they had problem getting women or got women. They don't want to hear from them. Why I think Stevie Dean didn't pop off in the black manosphere like he did? 'Cause, it is. What's up, Rain Woman? What's going on? Yeah, I'm not drinking as much beer. That's right. I'm glad. Hey, so that helped me. The channel. I got rid of the channel and stuff. Got rid of the panel. Yeah, I drank way less beer. Way less beer. This what 2 weeks? This 2 weeks. 2 weeks. I ain't drunk nothing. In 2 weeks. It's like before that it was another like 3 weeks. Yeah, I ain't been drinking that much. Yeah. And this is the only thing I bought. That's it. Finish this. That's it for me. Yeah. There's a Rain Woman. Let me see if we go to Rain Woman. She had a wrench. There you go. Ronnie Ellie. I'll give her a wrench too. Over here. Yeah, hydrate, healthy, rest. Yeah. Yeah, thank you for that. Thank you. Or you can subscribe. Yeah, this is the channel I'm doing all the content on now. Just take the place of my old channel. The old channel is music channel now. You want to hear some of the songs I got, or when I talk about somebody in the music industry, I do it over there. So I do still do commentary over there, but it'll be more music based. I just did something about Gene Simmons, Uncle REG. He's okay. And then Rush, they got a new drummer. I'll probably I'm gonna do a video about D'Angelo. I'm gonna put it over there. I did one. No, I didn't. Yeah, I did one. Yeah, I did one on this channel. But I'm gonna do one over there. Talk about because he was a musician. Anything had to do with music, it doesn't matter. I'm mostly, I'm a rock guy. Rock and roll, heavy metal guy. But still, I still talk about R&B and stuff. I know about that, and so anything that can go down, I'm gonna talk about it over there. So I'll probably do the in detail talk about D'Angelo over there because we like D'Angelo. I think everybody did. I like the movie because he came out of that whole section of the neo soul thing. But before we get into D'Angelo, because I want to talk about that. Yeah, man, don't come over here and tell me what to do, man. It's crazy. Tell me who to talk about and stuff like that. That's it. The motherfuckers on some bullshit. Just made Nick. Who's who's this? That will make. What the hell is this fool talking about? Let's see if we can get a translation on this. Yeah, this nigga talking shit. We gotta get him up out of here. I know who this motherfucker is, Negan. Get this Negan ass up out of here, shit. We ain't in the land of the dead and shit. Fuck out of here. How the fuck out of here, man? What you doing? Yeah, don't be telling me what to do, man. Fuck that. Shit. Tell your mama something. Tell them girls that you pimping. So there's them what to do. Shit, you've been telling girls what to do too long. You get talking to men. Tripping. I'm trying to hear that shit. Tripping. So let's see what we want. Something else I want to talk about before I get into. Oh yeah, Trump just gave, the Medal of Freedom to Charlie Kirk wife. It just happened down. This is crazy, man. They really trying to make this guy into some white Martin Luther King. I'm telling you, this is crazy. I mean, before he got shot, nobody really knew who the hell he was. He went under the radar. But I didn't know that many white people liked him like that. Just with, because he go on these campuses and talk the stuff that he want to talk. So if you say all kind of ill shit about black people, he's saying, "Oh, that's just conversation and stuff." If we don't have a conversation, then we won't be in trouble. Nah, I don't want to hear none of that shit. You talk all this white nationalist shit, and you a Christian nationalist. That's what's crazy. They're a Christian nationalist. So if you don't believe in Christ and Jesus and all this stuff, but they still sit there saying that we're superior. God made us superior and stuff. So do these folks still believe that the Jews is still God's chosen people? I want to know. Apparently he didn't at the end of his life, Charlie Kirk. That's probably who X'd his ass out because he was going to leave. He was going to stop caping for the Jews people, little small hats. Candace Owens might have a point, and he might be reaching out to her from the dead. Candace, the niggas set me up. Them niggas set me up. MAGA set me up. Hey man, hey. Hey man, this is just a wild shit out here. You might be over here alone. Yeah, you might be over here alone. You come on over this side. You're already over here. Bronny. Yeah. All right. So that's what went down. And then we got to talk about the government shutdown. This government shutdown is 15 days. Folks, I really think that it's going to go until that Affordable Health Care Act is expired, which expired in 2026, I think January, whatever. This is going to be the longest shutdown ever. And a lot of people will be out of money. We know that military don't get paid, but somehow the military got some money to pay them for this go round. The next go round, I don't know. It's going to be some problems. Not only that, people work at the parks and stuff like that. Any type of government job, VA, it's probably a lot of people take sick leave off of that. My mom used to work at VA, and she went through it as a nurse to shut down. They gave her part check or something like that, but they got back pay. Now he's talking about he's not gonna give some of these people back pay. That's gonna hurt a lot of people. That's not right. Always in the government shutdown, you got your back pay from what they didn't pay you especially if you're still working. This is just crazy. So we might be going past the 30. Remember, the longest had a shutdown was 35 days. Okay, let me get this cat. Hold on, man. Okay, he left. I don't know what happened. I was about to give him some food, but he left. Oh, there we go. Wait a minute. Hold on. God damn, there you motherfucker. Hold on. Yeah, I'm gonna give him. I'll give him a hug. There you go. I'll give him. Well, I didn't give him a hug, but I'll give him a pet. He eating his food now. At least he's all right. Shit. Oh, that was Larry. Who was Larry? Where's Larry? Larry's here. You said hi, Larry. Oh, and Egan was Larry? I didn't know. I mean, these motherfuckers got coming with different names and stuff, and I don't know. Yeah. I don't see him in here and shit. Yeah, okay, well. Yeah. Yeah, he's doing. Yeah, but hey, man, this is government shutdown or something, man. It's, hey, like I said, anybody have a government job is in trouble right now. 15 days, you get paid this week. Most people get paid this week. That's crazy. And we got the holidays coming up, man. This is in October. I know what the car's gonna be fucked up. Halloween gonna be fucked up. Is Thanksgiving gonna be fucked up? The Christmas I mean, who is this gonna hurt? The Democrats or the Republicans? I mean, because motherfucker can't. People gonna be hitting the food bank, but already food banks are stressed out. I don't see how they're gonna be able to maintain. Remember, government job was a good job. Everybody was saying this and that and third, which is true. But this shit like this happens. I don't know. They might solve it before Christmas, man, because that'll be something. If you don't got no Christmas money, we're gonna be in trouble. Now, I think the banks and stuff is sending notices that if you will loan you some money, just in case, if you have to check, get it from the government, let us know. So the banks might help you out and stuff, but still you got to pay all that money back. And then talk about they don't get no back pay. Come on, man, stop it. Trump, don't do that. Don't do that. And I think he's doing it because some of the people, some companies was his enemies, political enemies. There's some politics being played out. He's getting back at a lot of people. They didn't like him. Yeah, man. But anyway, I mean, that's what I want to talk about on that. I just wanted to get that out of the way. Let's talk about D'Angelo, man. D'Angelo, man. Yeah, RBR. I said, I'm talking about RBR. RB singer died of cancer, pancreatic cancer. His family announced it on today. Passed away. Now he won a Grammy for his album Voodoo. It was the best album. I think the other single was on there. It was best single too. But basically his first two albums was probably the best albums. I love that first album. That was, and he was part of the neo soul movement, along with Jill Scott, Angie Stone, which is his baby mama. He had a son by. Who else? Erica Badu. Who else? Bilal and a few others. It was part of Neo Soul thing, which I like that because that was something that was created out of nowhere. Something different. He also wrote the in 1994 he wrote and co-produced a single "You Will Know," which is a R&B supergroup. Excuse me, R&B supergroup, Black Men United, which featured Boys and Men, Brian McKnight, Usher, R. Kelly, Raphael Sadiq, and others. So I remember that album. I remember that they all got together. All the Brakemen got together at that album. And then he also collaborated with a lot of other R&B and hip hop artists like The Roots, Common, Jay Dilla. Rest in peace to Jay Dilla. He was a great producer, rap producer. Erica Badu, Lauryn Hill, Angie Stone, baby mama girlfriend at the time. So, hey man, I think that he was a great talent, man. I think he played music, played his own music, played guitar, played keyboards and stuff. You know, great singer. You know, now he did run into troubles. I guess he was on on the drugs and stuff, and this and that, third. But besides that, he kept performing until he couldn't perform no more. When he canceled the tour because he had cancer and stuff, that was it for him. But yeah, but he was touring, still got it. So hey, yeah, but that's a big loss. It's a big loss, man. Especially women like that song. I forgot that hit song he had on the second album. I love that song where he had his shirt off and thought he was naked and all that shit. You know, I remember that they played that video sold everywhere, VH1. I don't know how many times. Shit, yeah, they was playing that video back in the day when that video came out. You have to see it, you know, with his shirt off if it was like he was naked and shit. That's when he was in shape, and then he blew up. Like, gained 100 pounds and shit. He's all fat now. It's crazy. But anyway, man, shout out to D'Angelo. That's all I can say. Shout out to D'Angelo, man. Don't miss that music. Don't miss him. Miss the music. Yeah, man. So now let's get into P Diddy accused of John Doe. Remember, this is the guy that came out maybe a year ago, saying that P Diddy threw a cum stain shirt, Biggie shirt, on him after P Diddy, nutted on any shit. And then apparently he forced him to give oral sex to him, at maybe gunpoint or whatever. But he got set up to go to B Diddy house to buy Biggie's son, as they saying. Where he sucked him off and stuff. Now some people were saying that, why didn't he bite it off and all this shit and this and that third. I don't know, man. It looked at me that guy was gay. And then he said that, he could still taste Diddy member in his mouth. And I said, Jesus, this is wild, man. Oh. Ugh. Jeez, it's crazy. Oh, it's Larry Griffin. Okay, there you go. All right, there. I see it. So, but now the John Doe is back. And the John Doe gave up his identity. His name is Jonathan Hay. He's a publicist and recording producer. He was ex Rihanna publicist. And also worked with Jay-Z, Apparently he tried to silence him. Oh, yeah. Allegedly. Well, they said allegedly out of hey. Yeah, I guess we gotta say allegedly, yeah. Man, I'm looking at the dude. The dude is probably zesty himself. I mean, and then he was saying he was taking drugs and stuff too, ketamine and stuff. It's just P Diddy is just fucked up now, man. It's just they all coming out. See, he was silent at first, I think, because he's afraid that P Diddy might come at, but now he got charged. They all coming out now. Everybody coming out now. I told you this is just the beginning. Now this guy, they kind of put his lawsuit to the side. Remember, I think his came out before the Cassie thing came out, and nobody was believing it, but they believe him now. So we're gonna see if he can get some money off of P Diddy. Everybody else is doing it, so he figured he might just go ahead and do it. And then he also talked about Jay-Z and Rihanna when Now, this is not a rumor. He cleared this up. Now, he said that he was told to put the rumor out that, you know, Jay-Z was with Rihanna when she was 16 years old. And they was going to pay him handsomely for doing this. Pay him a lot of money for it. I don't know if this was just one of those industry hype jobs where, you know, we got to put some negative. We got to get a buzz around this artist. Let's put something negative. They do that every once in a while to get the, you know, maybe that's what it was, but I don't know. But yeah, he got a lot to say about Jay-Z and Rihanna. But remember, he was Rihanna publicist at one point, so maybe this is true. I mean, it seemed like, because they were saying that, you know, she was with some man, grown man in a hotel, some shit like that, and then she was with Jay-Z. So I'm gonna play the video on here, but first of all, we're gonna play the videos. Okay, we're gonna play this one first. We're gonna play this one first.
Thing called that's like satanic. What is that goat thing called that's like satanic?
It's called Baphomet.
That, yeah, I saw a huge one of those at one of the Tidal Rock Nation parties in New York, and that was I've never seen anything like that.
Okay, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I got. Dang, what is this?
Correct.
The fact that you mentioned Jay-Z, though.
Okay,
in the last interview, we spoke about Rihanna and Jay-Z, and when I asked you if you believe they had anything together, you said that you do believe that there might have been something that was going on.
Correct.
The fact that you mentioned Jay-Z, though, in the last interview, we spoke about Rihanna and Jay-Z, and when I asked you if you believe they had anything together, you said that you do believe that there might have been something that was going on with them. I want to ask you if you heard of this story, you know, during that time, because this is what I believe was floating around the internet. They were saying that allegedly Jay-Z gave Rihanna an STD, and that Rihanna allegedly gave that STD to Chris Brown, and that's what caused the fight, the breakup, or whatever.
Oh, see, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. So Chris Brown was beating her ass up because he got a STD from Jay-Z.
You know that Jay-Z was allegedly sleeping with Chris Brown at the same, I mean, not Chris Brown, with Rihanna at the same time that Rihanna was sleeping with Jay-Z. Did you hear anything about that? Would you happen to know if that's true, or maybe not true, but if you heard anything about that?
I did hear those rumors, you know, and when you said Jay-Z was
this is rumors
sleeping with Chris Brown, I also heard that rumor as well.
Oh, so you heard a rumor of Jay-Z hooking up with Chris Brown as well?
Yeah, you know, because correct.
Okay, I'm gonna play this because I think it's another one here.
What is that goat thing called?
Okay, I'm gonna play this one last.
What is that goat thing called?
Okay, I'm gonna play that last. I'm gonna stop sharing. I didn't know this was just the whole thing. So the next one I'm gonna play. Let's see, next one. Play this one. Okay, let me play this one here. Okay, here we go. Let's play this one here.
Rihanna, ex-publicist.
Oh, shit. God damn, it got music on there. I didn't know it had music. God damn. I messed up. I forgot. It had music because they're going to help me cut it out.
said Dame Dash knows Jay-Z like transgenders.
Okay, like transgender. You heard it. That's what I wanted to get. Like transgenders on
the tour bus.
On the tour bus. There you go. So you see it there. This is what he said. We cut the music off, okay? Rihanna publicly said that Dame Dash know that Jay-Z like transgenders on the tour bus. Okay. All right. So we're gonna get rid of that one. Okay, so now we're gonna play this one here. This is the one. I'm gonna play the other one back because maybe we get some more information on the other one and stuff. Let me see. Okay, here we go, folks. All right, let's go.
And stuff under my eyes. They pushed me back into this room, and like there's this like ottoman. I fall in the back of the chair, and then Diddy's comes in, and I could hear his voice. I could see his feet, and I'm like trying to look up, through these little cracks, like what's going on. And he's like, you don't deserve Biggie Smalls. You don't deserve, to be with the Biggie estate. He's just going on and on and on and on and on, right? And like sitting there like tripped out because I was in a home invasion, 2 years prior to that.
Damn.
Right.
And all right.
Next thing,
all right. He was in a home invasion. Got a booking cap on that little the LGBTQ sign right there. Just do gay. I'm sure he's gay. But anyway, let's continue.
Biggie. I mean, Diddy is like putting his in my mouth.
Damn. Woo. Whoa.
Real life.
Hold on, let me get this street life. Okay, here we go.
Real life street stars, man. We're back with Jonathan Hay, man. And we're about to address a very serious topic today. First of all, Jonathan, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. Thank you.
Right. Man. I know that you've watched the Diddy trial and his sentencing, him getting sentenced. What are your thoughts on that, first of all?
I feel like it was too low of a sentence, obviously, but the judge made the right call. So I mean, the judge made what he felt was the right call. So you just have to accept it.
Right.
Everybody say it's too low, but the judge did the right thing on that because I think if he gave more time, they would have the defense would have had a better chance of getting an appeal. He and they probably would have won, and then Diddy would have been out right now. So the judge gave him just right. I still say they should have gave him 7 years, at least 7. Damn. But anyway, let's continue.
There's a lawsuit, and it's the Biggie son Jay Wallace lawsuit, right? Are you the John Doe?
Yeah, because Biggie's son is getting sued too, along with P Diddy on this one. So you're gonna hear them talk about Biggie's son. I think it's JW or whatever. We'll find out what his name is. JW, but Biggie's son. Let's go.
I am. So let's, if you remembered from our interviews in the past, I would talk about, CJ Wallace working with Biggie's son,
Right.
CJ Wallace.
Okay, that's it.
Working with
yeah,
Diddy.
CJ Wallace. CJ. Okay, let's go.
and all that. And I think I did one interview where I was like, they need to look into CJ Wallace more, the feds. Remember I said that on your show?
I remember that.
And I was kind of like alluding to that, but I didn't obviously, go into detail about that. And I would see like, some of the comments on all the different platforms that I did, they'd always be like, it seems like he's hiding something. It seems like, there's more to the story. And that's what it was. So, I got a law firm, the Dordick Law Firm. They've handled some of the biggest cases, in history. They have some of the biggest winnings in history. And we filed the civil lawsuit against Sean Combs, against CJ Wallace, against Willie Mack, and Combs Corporations. All of them are listed on the defendants, that's out in public that can see all the defendants listed, right? So that's, and I talked about all.
I'm gonna try to see if I can look up. It says. That must be a different CJ, because CJ Mack I know is dude from the rapper. Okay, CJ Mack is not a single person. Your career refers to two distinct individuals. Okay. I don't know. I'm gonna have to.
All those people like on your show before,
Right?
And that's just, we're in the process of it. They had me a John Doe to protect me. The lawyer did, but people have put it together, throughout, because in the lawsuit it talks about me working with Willie Mack and CJ Wallace and Diddy, and so people aren't dumb. So a lot of people have asked me about it. I've denied it. I haven't spoke about it, but I feel like now's the time to do that and to talk about the lawsuit, because TMZ put it up, all these different outlets put it up, but they just kind of did it for headlines and clickbaits, and people haven't heard from me to explain and talk about what happened that's contained in the lawsuit.
Right. Jonathan.
Yes.
I'm gonna ask you to do something that's kind of a little hard. I know it's gonna be hard for you, but the people want to know exactly kind of what kind of happened. You sent me paperwork, right? And I read through the paperwork, and I was devastated when I was reading a lot of this stuff. And I wanted to know if you could kind of walk us through what happened. Are you able to do that?
Yes, sir. So we did this Eric B. and Rakim project. This Eric B. and Rakim, Follow the Leader, Reimagine His Jazz. And that hit, and it was #1 on the Billboard charts for 11 weeks. And so we were looking for another.
Okay, I was looking for Willie Mack. He's not coming up on none of the searches somewhat, but he's probably involved in this too. Maybe he was a producer, whatever, was part of the D team or whatever the case may be. But anyway, let's continue.
Artists to do that similar type of thing. The girl I was dating at the time, her name was Sarah Rushforth. She's from London. We were in Brooklyn, and she said that we should do Biggie. My first response was like, I don't really want to do Biggie. That's predictable. Everybody does Biggie and Tupac. You know, I'd rather do something like along the lines of what we did with like Eric B and Rakim. Anyways, she talked me into it. But what was weird about all that is, like, looking back, is she told me, she says, you know, if we do the Biggie music, we could get CJ Wallace involved, Biggie's son. And I'm like, how do you figure that? She was like, oh, it's magic. You know, we'll get him. You're a magical person. So fast forward today into looking back and going through all the stuff that we went through, that was a setup by her, because she had already known CJ Wallace.
So you guys set up. Damn. God damn. That's some wild shit. Already, motherfuckers. You just come in the game, they're already gunning for you and shit. That's some wild shit, man. The industry is cold as a motherfucker. Anyway, let's continue.
And we did this interview that you can see during the pandemic. It's still online, with me, CJ Wallace, Willie Mack, and Sarah Rush. And she, I gave her credit. I was like, it was, her idea. She said she could get CJ Wallace. She suggested that we get CJ Wallace. And then we get him. And at the time, I'm just like, yo, I'm on a hot streak. We just had the #1 jazz album for 11 weeks. Now we got Biggie's son, to support this project, but she already knew him. And she...
So remember, hold on, folks. Okay, all right. Let me get back there. Here. Okay, let's continue.
She was already a dancer. Like, I met her at a strip club called Platinum Dolls. It's like right when you leave Quad Studios. It's where we recorded a lot of Follow the Leader. You walk directly next door. It's 2 steps over, and you're in the strip club. So that's where I met her. And I'm sure she finessed me, whatever, and I was a sucker. But
of course you a sucker. I could tell you that already.
Over like a 2-week period, we were at the Williamsburg Hotel, and that's when she suggested this idea about doing Biggie. I didn't think that we'd really get CJ Wallace.
Don't look at this motherfucker. Look really pale. I mean, I know white people, they're white, but this nigga look extremely white. More white than usual. This motherfucker, jeez, what's up? This motherfucker like he's scared and shit, scared to death or some shit. I don't know. But this motherfucker, this interview pale as a motherfucker, man. Jeez. Anyway, let's continue.
But we did. We recorded the album, and sure enough, CJ Wallace reaches out and was like, I got wind of the project. I heard you doing the project. We're a big fan of Eric B. and Rakim. My dad, Biggie, the Notorious Big, was a big fan of Eric B. and Rakim. We love what you're doing. We'd love for you to come out to Los Angeles. So we go to Los Angeles, right? I rented this big house. I had a recording studio in the bottom. And we meet with CJ, we meet with Willie. The vibes are good. And then they want us to meet at this warehouse. And that's what's in the lawsuit, is the warehouse that we meet at.
Okay,
and so we're there for about 2 hours.
Okay, this is the warehouse where he meet P Diddy at the first encounter. where he you about to hear what happened.
And we're listening to the music, we're doing photo shoots, we're partying and we're just, chilling. And then Diddy shows up.
Uh-oh.
And that was unexpected, but he showed up. And the reason that we were at this warehouse is because that was the warehouse this was in January of 2019. No, actually February and March of 2019. And that was the warehouse that was housing all of Biggie's clothes.
Rainy Woman, this guy is let me go here. Rainy Woman, this guy here is Jonathan Hay. This is the ex-Rihanna publicist. This was the John Doe. I don't know, number 3, 4, 5. I don't know what order, but he's the one that had a lawsuit on P Diddy, the one that forced him to give head to. This is the guy here. This is the white guy. This is the white guy, and he threw the big cum shirt on him. You're about to hear that right now and stuff. But let's continue. Let's continue on this shit. Let me get that down. He does look like a ball of snowman. You right about that. I told you, dude, pale as fuck. I'm talking like, God damn.
Clothes that he wore when he was alive, right? And so the clothes that he wore when he was alive were all on these racks everywhere, like racks of all these clothes that he wore. And the reason that they were there is because they were donating them to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which he was being inducted in November of 2020. So there was all Biggie's clothes. We're going through all these artifacts. I'm blown away. And CJ even says, yo, you should wear one of my dad's original jerseys. So obviously that was an honor. Here we are doing this Biggie project. And now I put on like some of his original garments, and we did some photo shoots and everything else. Well, so when Puffy comes in, he's like going through the clothes and he was like, nah, you should do this one, almost like a stylist. Because as you know, Diddy's number one artist of all time is Biggie. There's the Notorious Big, that's his number one artist. So at that point, he was still very controlling.
Now, he said something about Biggie being bisexual. Now, I met Biggie when I was in doing record retailer thing. I was a record retailer. It was at the distributor place downtown LA and shit. And he came in, he and Craig Mack. Then this was before Biggie shit blew up. He was there. Nobody really, we knew of him. The Juicy didn't take off then. I think he just had it out because we bought that. But everybody was there for Craig Mack at the time. Because the niggas, his shit was hot. His shit was hot. His came out and then he got a single. Now, P Diddy wasn't there. I don't know what would have happened with P Diddy there because we was all there. So maybe things would have been completely different. But as far as he was there. And Biggie, he seemed like he was all right, man. I didn't, bisexual gay vibes from him. I don't know. Maybe they was, but I shook my hand and I got his autograph and stuff like that. I didn't say too much. I just get the autograph and get bounced. But Craig Mack, he was going around giving people donuts and shit. So he was cool, man. Craig Mack was too, man. So I could say that he was all right. He was a humble guy. You be thinking that he used to have like some, be really into himself and shit. Let the fame get to him. A couple people I met when I was doing it, the fame got to their head. When they kind of blew up and shit, they acting like they didn't even know you and shit. Hey man, I met you. You trying to sell me your tape so I could sell it in my place and stuff to get. And he don't even remember that. I know what you're talking about, man. What we talking about? Come on, man. Montel Jordan is another one. I was, dude, I used to go to school with you. Come on, man. This, you know where we went to. Come on, man. Stop it. He said, yeah. I know. He said, so I mean, I know these cats, man. Shit, I know these cats. But anyway, let's continue.
Of the Notorious Big, his music, his brand, everything else. And so he was like, nah, you should wear this one. You should try on that one. Right? He closes the door. The door's closed. And, you know, I've got like my t-shirt on. And I'm just like putting on, you know, different Biggie's clothes. He's got some like in this couch next to him that are like piled up because he's also grabbing clothes that they're donating to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Right? So he's got all these clothes on there. And I'm just looking through everything, not all the different clothes, just blown away by, you know, what I'm looking at. You know, an artist that has passed, you know, one of the most historical artists of all time, you know, the greatest bisexual rapper of all time, Biggie Smalls. And so
he said the biggest bisexual. I just talked about that. I didn't see no bisexual, but well, maybe I was young. I don't know, because remember, I ain't gay. If he was gay, you probably would know. But I ain't gay, so I don't know nothing about that. I thought he was all right, but I mean, you know, we brought him off be holding kind of high shit, you know. Same thing with Angry Man Grinch. That nigga came out bisexual. He's told you he's bisexual, so I mean, shit. You'd be surprised who's sitting there bisexual. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. But anyway, let's continue.
Went through all those clothes. And I hear Diddy on his phone, and I didn't know if he was on FaceTime or whatever, but I could hear like, you know, it sounded like, right? And so I'm just like, you know, I'm not trying to like stare over at him and look over at him and all that type shit, right? So I'm just kind of minding my business, but also kind of in tune to what Diddy's doing. Everybody's out in the other, you know, rooms. The music is playing. Like,
is it Biggie was bisexual? I didn't. Hey, when I met him, I didn't see that. I mean, I'm just telling you, Raining Woman, I didn't see that shit. But he was close to P Diddy. And then it was on the album, it was one of the songs that he said that, what did he say in one of the rap songs that he had on that first album? Throw him over the Brooklyn Bridge and then fuck him in the ass or some shit like that. So I'm saying, like, okay, well, why would you do that? So maybe he was trying to tell you something, that he was letting people know that he was, you know, he was that way. Maybe he was. Yeah. He said Grinch never came back around since then. Oh, let me go over here. He said, okay, maybe he was bisexual. He covered eyes, what I meant. So, yeah. And then Grinch, you know, he came back since he came out the closet. Yeah, he didn't. You know, people was going to take that, you know, lightly. Now he might come back when the sexual revolution happened here. The next sexual revolution happens. Everybody come out the closet. And yeah, he'll probably come back. He'll come back in full force. But you know, of course, because that's gonna hurt Angry Man. Because they're gonna be asking questions. Why, hey, dude, your man is out here. You know, just came out the closet. What do you have to say? And Angry Man have not addressed it yet about Grinch. Yet, never addressed it. Oh, you heard it too, Rated Woman. Yeah, there you go. He sure did his fucking ass and throw him over the bridge. Yeah, you heard it too. You know, I know I'm not, you know, making this shit up. You heard that shit too. And I'm going like, okay, what does this have to do? I mean, is this nigga just admitted that he was bisexual? And that was back then. And then remember the video he had with the girl. He was in the bed with the girl. The warning video. They said that girl was a transsexual that was in his remix video. The light-skinned chick, curly hair or stuff like that, big titty, whatever. You know, turn down Busta Rhymes and stuff like that. They said that girl was trans back then. Damn. Nobody didn't know. He was trans. Just like in this space, we had somebody that was trans, Queen Mayat. Nobody did not know. They was all making passes at her. Big J, all them niggas was making passes at her. They wanted to get with her. She had an OnlyFans. They was subscribing to her OnlyFans. And the only one knew about this shit was a woman. Was it Trinity Time Travel, exposed or whatever someone said? Crazy. Dirty work out here in these motherfucking streets. Already Black Manosphere being way infiltrated. The space being way infiltrated. Damn. But anyway, let's continue. Jeez.
Loud, that we did. And it's just Diddy and I in this room with all of Biggie's clothes. Next thing you know, it's like I look over and it's like this dude is looking on his phone and he's like jerking off underneath one of the shirts. So I'm just kind of tripping, like, nah, maybe he's scratching himself. Maybe he's,
So he jerking off under his shirt. So that means that nigga had to zip his pants and took his shit out. So you can see. You didn't stop him. You didn't say, hey, whoa, I ain't into that. No, you let this nigga go all the way through the process. Like I said, this dude gay too, man. Fuck this. Don't let the motherfucker fool you. But anyway, let's continue.
It can't be what's going on. But sure enough, that's what he's doing, because he's like, as he's getting into it, he's like, yo, bro, finish me off.
Okay, so now why would a man you never met all of a sudden get in a room with him and he start pulling his stuff out, start jacking it off in front of you, and tell you to finish him off? Either you finish him, you wanking him off, or you suck him off. So he busts off in you, in your mouth, whatever. Okay, jeez. Oh, dude, you gay. You gotta be. There's no problem with that. That's what it is. But it's got to come out and say that shit, man. At least Grinch came out and said it. Said it's true. Fuck that. I don't care if he got a girlfriend. He's bisexual himself. But anyway, let's go.
It's just like, nah. So, he finishes off into one of Biggie's garments that he wore, and like a nut towel or something, and then he does his thing, and he walks over and he throws that on my arm. And I'm just like, holy shit. And he's like, rest in peace, Biggie, and walks out and laughs. And I'm stunned. Because what the was that, right? And it was shocking because it's also Biggie's clothes, like his shirt. And that's the part of the lawsuit that went viral at first, and everybody was like, like making fun of it. Like, what do you mean, Diddy masturbated in the Biggie shirt? So, I put the shirt down. I like brush it off. I'm like, okay, we flew in, we're in LA. All these people are out there. And I go out there, I see my girl. And at that point, I'm just like stunned. She's like, what's wrong? I don't tell anything. I'm like, I'm going to go outside and smoke a cigarette. I'm outside smoking a cigarette, just trying to keep my composure because I'm thinking about the project that we've done, the album that was finished. I didn't really know what to do. So I didn't do anything. Diddy left a bunch of ketamine, right? Like,
he saw the drugs. He liked to get high. He saw them drugs. He about to get high. Oh shit.
Best I've ever seen. Like, I'm talking about bricks. I don't know what it'd be for CJ and Willie and for us to have a good time while we're, making music and house music. And
wait a minute, they was gonna smoke up a whole brick? That's what this nigga said? They got it like that? I guess so. Fuck, man. Wait, let's continue.
And everything else. And then he's out. 2 days later, we're back at the house and we go to this rave, this famous DJ named Carl Cox, just me and Sarah. And, we drop ecstasy, it's a rave, psychedelics. We come back to the house and I tell her, I'm like, yo, the weirdest thing happened. And I'm tripping. I get real emotional about it. And then she opens up to me and she says that she used to work with Diddy 10 years ago, because at that time she was 32. When she was 22, she used to, do private events for Diddy in London, in Tulum, and Ibiza and Brooklyn.
So, thing is that the girl that's his girlfriend was in the strip club next to Quad Studios. You get the connection? So I think his girlfriend is a setup. You keep eyes on this nigga. She knew Diddy was, when she told you that, you should have said, "Oh hell no, this bitch is a setup." God damn. But anyway, let's continue.
And Miami and New York, and she was just like cocktail serving, but obviously, it was probably more, knowing about her past now.
Of course it was more. But she's not the one gonna say anything about this shit. But anyway, let's continue.
So I tell her, she's like, just don't say anything. I'm sorry. Let's just keep the project going. It's not a big deal. Keep it moving. So that's what we did, is because, I had invested already in the project. I'd already done all this stuff. It's about Biggie, not, Diddy's whack shit. So I didn't say anything to anybody, and kept the project going, right? So the pandemic gets in full swing, and we released the first single, Big Papa, and that goes on like Rolling Stone and Spin Magazine. Me and CJ Wallace redoing his, dad stuff, and Diddy was like really like, controlling over what the music was going to be, what the vibe was going to be, because that it, being totally objective, that is his artist, right? So,
right.
The project gets weird. That happens, and where the project is buzzing. I'm put it to the side, and on the second attack, the real attack that happened is what happened in a year later, which is in the lawsuit, which is
okay. Now this is the one that everybody know in the lawsuit. This one here, you will hear it right now, but this is the second attack. This is the one that's the main one that he's really suing them on. Is this one here?
They picked me up. So first of all, I finally came clean to CJ and Willie.
Okay, that's the thing. He should have never told them what happened. And when he did that, they told P Diddy. And P Diddy was mad. He told him, bring that motherfucker over here to the house. We'll take care of him. And that's what they did. But anyway, let's continue.
Well, I came clean to CJ. I was like, bro, this is weird, bro. This is what happened. Like, this guy nutted in your dad's shirt. He threw it on me. I just felt like I needed to tell you that, because right before that, sorry, I'm all over the place, but when Biggie was inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in November, it starts off with Puff Daddy, and he's talking about obviously inducting Biggie into the Hall of Fame. And then it closes with Biggie's son, CJ Wallace, Biggie's rock and roll thing. So I didn't want to say anything to CJ until after his dad was inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I knew I was going to, so I waited until after that moment. So that's why I waited until early of 2021. And I go back out to LA, and that's when I tell CJ. And I also tell him that Willie's acting hella weird because they wanted to make the project like super gay, right? They wanted to meet Frank White meets Frankie Knuckles, and they wanted to be all inclusive, you know, trans, LGBT.
Now, I didn't know they were talking about they wanted to make the project gay. So this was back, you know, what, 90, in the 90s? They was already trying to push this gay agenda into rap music. Is that's what this was this guy insinuating? I don't know. God damn.
You know, all this stuff that they want to include. CJ and Willie, as I said in one of your interviews, they were like a thing. They were like, you know, boyfriend and boyfriend. But Willie was also doing some extra like weird shit with me, and which I've talked about. And
so Willie was doing stuff with this guy. So it seems like they're all bisexual gay then. Okay, you can't make this shit up, man. But anyway, the question is that do people believe him and stuff or whatever? You know, but we gotta say alleged, you know, like Bonnie Elliott said alleged. Shit. But anyway, let's continue.
And some of the other interviews, and so I let CJ know, like, bro, this is what's going on. This is what's happening. Shit is hella weird. And as soon as I told him, chaos broke out, right? And they're like, we're canceling the project. And here I am out in LA, and you know, so I was a little shocked. Well, then,
so they didn't take too kind of him saying all that stuff. He wasn't supposed to mention none of that stuff, not to them and not to nobody. And so they got mad and canceled the project. But I thought that he should know better not to tell them that, since he was Biggie's son and that close to P Diddy and the other guys. They all loyal to P Diddy. And they not loyal to you. I don't know what he was thinking about. He thought they would have some sympathy or something like that. What he was gonna do? Tell P Diddy, you know, you was wrong. They gonna go back to P Diddy and say you was wrong for that, man. You should have messed with him. Man, P Diddy would have killed them dudes. Biggie's son and all. It doesn't matter. But anyway, let's continue.
CJ calls me back a few weeks later, and he says, listen, man, I got Willie with me. We want to get together with you. The project is back on. We're going to pick you up, and we're going to film you for Revolt. And we're going to, the three of us are going to talk about the project, and we're going to get it going back in full steam. So I was like, hell yeah. Willie apologized to me over the phone, said he didn't know. He thought I was gay, even though I was with my girlfriend, even though I've never.
So he thought he was gay. Yeah, because he is gay. Stop it. But anyway, let's continue.
You know, whatever. Because, you know, I just wear weird or whatever. So he was like, you know, basically I misread the room. So they picked me up, and that's what it says in the lawsuit. And they took me to a Revolt affiliated house. Right? So in the ride over there, it doesn't feel like it's just me in the back seat, CJ and Willie. It didn't feel like, you know, the band's getting back together. We went through a fight. It just felt very, very weird. We pulled up to this White House, and when we're walking in, we start to walk into the house, and immediately when I walked into the house, I knew something was weird. There was Biggie stuff everywhere. Like,
here we go. This is it.
you know, like all Biggie's like posters and like artwork and Bad Boy and everything else. And so these two of Puffy's, and I saw CJ's brother. His name is Josh Rousseau. That's Faith Evans' other son. It's CJ's half brother. You know, Faith has two sons, CJ and Josh. I saw him. He didn't even really like acknowledge me like he normally does.
I don't understand why the dude didn't leave. If we knew that it was somewhat a setup, he should have said something about, you know, kind of stalled. Said, "Oh man, let me, you know, I gotta go, man. I'm sick, man. Something like that. Just stall, and you gotta got up out of there or something like that." But maybe they would have probably pressed him even harder if he did that shit. Because he know what's up now. Let's go. Let's rush him. But anyway, let's continue.
So I was like, okay, this is weird. These two dudes come over.
The muscle. And the muscle.
They put this like COVID, this like one of those weird like COVID masks where they used to have like the not like the regular that people would wear, like the full face that people would wear. They're like pulling it over and like, yo, this head's so big, you know, pulling over the. That's what it felt like. At first, I thought it was like a COVID mask, but it was some kind of you know thing, and it's like covering. They get it to like my stuff, but I could still see like the floor and stuff under my eyes. They push me back into this room, and like there's this like ottoman. I fall in the back of the chair, and then you know, Diddy's comes in, and I could, you know, hear his voice. I could see his feet, and I'm like trying to look up, you know, through these little cracks, you know, like what's going on. He's like, you know, you know, you don't deserve Biggie Smalls. You don't deserve, you know, to be with the Biggie estate. You know, he's just going on and on and on and on and on, you know, right? And
okay.
You know, like sitting there like tripped out because I was in a home invasion, you know, 2 years prior to that.
Right.
And next thing you know, Diddy is like putting his dick in my mouth.
Damn.
And you know, I'm like, he's grabbing my head. You know, you know, and he's like grabbing the back of my head and like
crazy
my face type shit. And I thought for sure that I was gonna die at that point because
it must have been by force. You know, it was just geez. Of course, he was gonna do the job, of course, because he is gay. Not saying that gay people do, they can't get forcibly, you know, molested like that, but you know, he was probably scared to death, so he did what he did, I guess. But fucking, geez, really. Even the girl said that, why you just buy it off? I heard a couple women talk about this part here. They said, you know, buy it off. But then, all right, man, this is wild shit, man. This is really wild here, man. You know,
he was angry and yelling, and after all that, like, ended, CJ and Willie come in the room, and I could tell that CJ was surprised, maybe. I don't know.
Hold on real quick. Damn. Let's continue.
But he obviously set it up, and then
he got set up.
Bro, just smoke this blunt. And like, I just had Diddy stick in my mouth doing his share a blunt, right? Like, I was like, bro, I just want to go. I want to go. And they drive me back to my hotel, and that was it. That was the last that I saw them. And I go back to all places.
They probably threatened them and stuff, this and that, third. I'm sure they did and stuff. Don't say anything, this and that, third.
Dallas, right? Because I had people in Dallas, and I stayed at the Statler Hotel. I lived at the Statler Hotel for like 3 months, and I would just stay in my room, and just processing and traumatized. And then I started getting angry. Then I started contacting Faith, and then I started contacting, CJ's, who he calls his dad by the name of Todd Rousseau, Faith Evans' ex-husband, and telling him about, all the that was going on. I reached out to Valletta, I reached out to everybody, and I'm just so pissed off.
I wasn't trying to hear that shit.
I was just, totally like, taken advantage of and everything else. And I just snapped. And, they made all these threats and everything else. I tried to get the police involved then. This is before Diddy's arrested, and nobody took it serious.
Like I told you before, this was all before the Cassie shit. Diddy got away with a lot of stuff, but the Cassie was the one that brought it out to light because they had that videotape. You got old Cassie, that shit. Cassie brought that shit out. Anyway, let's go.
I reached out to Cassie's law firm, Wigdor Law Firm, in 2023, and they wanted to meet with me. But as I was, going to go over to their firm, this is before Cassie came out with their lawsuit and everything else. And obviously there's email records, and obviously this is in discovery and everything else. Driving through Brooklyn and seeing all the Biggie murals and seeing all the Biggie shit and all the Biggie stuff, I was like, nah, man, I can't even do this. And just I started losing.
So he backed out of it then. He backed out of trying to sue him. So, okay, that's what he's saying. But anyway, let's go.
Projects, I felt blacklisted. I didn't feel blacklisted. I was blacklisted. That project was canceled, which led to my distributor to asking questions. And it just caused all this turmoil, So then I went out of Brooklyn. I moved to, with my girl in Inwood, Washington Heights area, of New York. And I know I jumped around a little bit from, I left Dallas and went to New York. But there was just a lot of that happened in between. One of
Hold on real quick. Okay, let's continue.
One of the guys, because we were filming a documentary on the making of this Biggie House album, and we were doing a lot of that in Dallas, Texas, and I just, I didn't have the strength anymore. Everything was done, so all my friends were like, what happened to the Biggie project. Well, this guy that was close to CJ and Willie that I met in Dallas, I went to get some Percocets, and
apparently this dude was on drugs, straight drugs. He stayed on drugs. This motherfucker stay on drugs. That's probably why he's on payers. He's still on drugs. Percocet, that, fentanyl, ketamine, smoking bricks of ketamine and shit. This motherfucker's off the hook, man. He's a mess. He's a mess. But anyway, let's go.
I got some Percocets. I took one. My girl took the other.
And the girl he got with is a junkie too. Shit. Fuck.
Next thing I know, she's like collapsed on me, and I tried to revive her. I couldn't. The police and ambulance came. I was so off of Percocet that I didn't even know my address, so I had to go like across the hall. It's like, what address? Where am I? What's the address? I couldn't think. So anyway, she goes to the hospital. They didn't take me with her. And obviously that was fentanyl. So I was that was the thing. Is like, all right, I got to get the fuck out of Dallas, right? Because this was just trying to make look like a drug overdose or something like that, So
they were trying to kill him? That's what he's saying? What, the girl you was with, you used to fuck with Diddy back in the day when she was young. When she was probably bad as hell. Back, what, 18, 19, 20, 22, whatever? Come on now, man. Stop it. We know it's set up, man. They're trying to get you up out of here. Drug overdose.
That's what happened with that. And when in 2023, when Cassie's lawsuit came out, and I saw who reported it, this investigative journalist by the name of Cheyenne Roundtree, who worked for the Rolling Stone, I reached out to her and I said, I've been through incidents with Diddy myself. And so she wanted to speak to me, and she was like, would you be comfortable going on record? I was like, no, I just want to, just explain to this. And this is in 2023. And she was like, there's a different producer who's told some of the same stories that you've told. And then Cassie's lawsuit it's like pandemonium. Everybody's coming out saying all this shit about Diddy.
Hold on, man. Every time this cat, this is crazy. Okay, let's see. And I'm gonna stop this in a minute. I'm gonna play the other one. See what he'd talk about on that one.
Then there's the raid, and then he's arrested. And then once he got arrested, that's when I started doing like these interviews and stuff, because I felt safe and I was so pissed off.
See, didn't nobody want to come out because once he was out, hey, he get them goons on you. P Diddy get them goons on you and hit you off. But now he got arrested, he's coming out. Okay, but anyway, I'm gonna end this right here. And I'm gonna play the other one. Gotta play this other one here. Okay, we're gonna play this other one here, and we're gonna see what they're saying. Now, this is an hour, but I'm not gonna play the whole thing. I want to play at least. We see what he's saying in this one.
That's like satanic.
It's called baphomet.
That, yeah, I saw a huge one of those at one of the title Rock Nation parties in New York, and that was I've never seen anything like that. And that statue had like the title logo on it. I was thinking, wow, this is crazy and compelling, you know.
And it was just right in the open, like you walked in and it was just
it was right as you walk in. Jay-Z's such into witchcraft and such.
So Jay-Z is into witchcraft. Maybe it's Beyonce that got him into that. I don't know. Let's go.
Such into symbolism that it's just crazy, and I think that's his influence. Well, Jay-Z 100% is a cuckold, right? He likes to watch his woman, Beyonce, with other men.
And how do you do you have any proof of this? Or you saying
that's what I want to know. You got proof of this shit. This is what I'm talking about. Come on.
Fact that Jay-Z is into similar behavior as Diddy. He likes to basically what Cassie was put through. He likes to watch his girl get in relationships with other men while he sits there and enjoys himself.
That's correct.
Hey guys, I hope all is well. Welcome back to The Truth Is, where I drop new videos every other day.
Okay,
period in my life.
I'm past that.
Well, it's just like, you know, that chapter of life.
About some of the things he said and more industry secrets he exposed. I want to thank Jonathan Hay.
Well, it's just like, you know, that chapter of life, that chapter of my life is behind me, and I was gonna draw something on it. I was gonna throw darts at it. I don't know what it was for really. And plus, I was on the.
Now this was 11 months ago. He's saying this. This is 11 months ago. What we played before was new, but this was 11 months ago. So he already had all kind of shit he was saying about Jay-Z.
What we've been talking about has been on the song Sandra's Rose, which is on Scorpion. And so it's just kind of like a reminder of the industry and what I've been through. And, you know, it's always staring at me in my face, you know, is that album cover, because that was such a game changer in that period in my life.
Yeah. What I saw, to me, I thought it was like what Drake does. You know how Drake sneak disses, you know, these little subliminals around.
Yeah.
I felt that was, you know, your way of basically doing just that. And
probably that as well.
The first question I really wanted to ask you was, with all the stuff that's been going on with Diddy recently and, you know, the industry, the parties and all that, there's been a lot of talk about these industry parties, about these parties that take place behind the scenes that the fans don't know about. We hear about them. People hear about, oh, these amazing Hollywood parties. But now that all this information is coming out with Diddy, you know, we're figuring out that the parties weren't that amazing. There was definitely some foul play going on at those parties. Would you say that you were ever invited to a party like that, or you witnessed firsthand an experience, you know, similar to what they're describing Diddy's party? You know, not necessarily that you were at a Diddy party, but just a party similar to that.
Correct. I've been invited to an actual Diddy party, but it wasn't what we know as Diddy parties now. It was more along the lines of, you know, it was more along the lines of,
hold on, folks,
going to
Okay, let's continue.
Diddy's house in Los Angeles, and there was going to be a party there. And me and my ex at the time, I didn't go. Now seeing all the things that have happened, I wish that we would have went, because I'm like
Just 11 months
curious
ago.
to see if I would have recognized anything or known anything, was off or suspicious, or like if
Remember, this is 11 months ago. This is saying he wished he could go because then he could have found out what was going on. Remember, this is about a year ago, before all the shit started coming out. So it was about at the time when everything Cassie came out and stuff. He said he wished he could have gone because he could have had more information, I guess.
If it was as overt as everyone was saying, or like, how did it go? So I'd be able to explain it better today. And the reason why we were invited is because I was signed to the Notorious B.I.G., his estate, in 2020 and 2021, and that was during the pandemic. So Biggie's son, CJ Wallace, and his partner Willie Mack would always invite me to come over and make sure we go to Diddy's house, because that's where all the parties are. But they never described it as something as criminal.
Yeah, I don't think no one is really, because this year's that we're really hearing about it being.
Okay, I'm going to end this here. I just want to see just a little bit of this, and that's it. I'll probably go back to it, and if I have to talk about it again, I just talk about it again. But that's it, man, folks. That's it for me, man. Yeah, man, this is wild, man. This story will be ongoing. We're gonna see if this Jonathan Haig can actually get a real legitimate lawsuit that goes somewhere where he get paid off some money, or he go in court and stuff like that, because they gunning for P Diddy now. I mean, it's damn near over. This was gonna kill him. It's gonna run his money down to the ground. Nothing. Because he's fighting these lawsuits and stuff like that. I think he'll have been better off, doing the years, and that's it. He should have did it Russell Simmons, like I said. And they still trying to go at Russell Simmons, but they can't get at him. He denied his citizenship. So if you deny his citizen value, you can't get to him. That's it for him. When he denied his citizenship, that means he died everything. Social Security and that, his American power, the power that American, people have when they travel overseas, that American passport. He denied all that. So that's it for him. And because he has a whole bunch of lawsuits, stacked up on him. He owed $1 million here because he didn't. Because when the court date came up, he didn't appear. Why? He wasn't trying to appear. Because he get hit on a lawsuit. Because they was coming at him. He got about 7 women on Russell Simmons. He owed these women this money. That woman ain't gonna get nothing. He's gone. He's finished. Russell Simmons is out of here. He's not trying to do that. None of that. And unless they can get him back to the States, I don't see how he can do that, because now he's don't have no U.S. citizenship. So he's gonna be illegal. So trying to get money out of Social Simmons, his daughter can't even get money out of him unless he give him some money. That's it for him. That's it. And that's probably the only one that escaped this bullshit. Everybody else is still trying to stay here and trying to fight and shit. And then they got you on the ropes. We got you back in the corner. You can't do anything. You don't have to go. Sometimes you have to learn that you lost and you have to retreat. That's what some of these brothers don't understand. Yeah, exactly, Randy Woman. He had no alternative but to get up out of here. Hey, 7 women, and now because he didn't appear in these court dates, and all the judgment already automatically went to the women. So now all this money is securing $1 million now is $1.5 million, 800 now is $1 million, 200 some $1,000. Now it's $500,000. You know, shit is just curing. But he's not gonna come back. He ain't gonna leave. He's gone. Yeah, Jay-Z is in trouble. That's why Jay-Z is trying to get out of it, go to England or something like that. They're trying to do something. Jay-Z should go way back to Rihanna and shit. Back then when Rihanna was 16 years old. This is crazy. I thought Jay-Z wouldn't really be involved in none of this stuff, but apparently he was involved in it too. And it seemed like, it might bring down Beyonce too. We don't know what they're involved in, but it's all gonna come out eventually. It's all gonna come out. But anyway, folks, thank you for coming through. I appreciate it. Get the likes up. If you want to support, the Cash App, whatever. But until next time, Uncle REG is signing off. Peace.